compiling these Super Bowl odds, and thanks for doing that. The Vikings are not part of the top 10, undoubtedly. Did you happen to see what their odds were to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I got all the current odds via FanDuel. That's what I'm working at. Plus 8,000 and or 80 to 1 the Minnesota Vikings are, which I believe makes them the 24th in odds, or tied for 23rd at this stage.
That's right. And to make it, it's about half. So I think it's 40 to 1 to get there, 80 to 1 to capture that bad boy.
And so just jumping in and looking at some of these teams. So, just as a Vikings fan, as a Rube, as a biased individual, being tied with the Arizona Cardinals in Super Bowl odds just feels weird to me. It just feels weird.
Yeah.
So just kind of, but we're not here to analyze how the Carolina Panthers at 300 to 1 can find their way down to the Crescent City. How do you?
Wow.
How do you?
Well, they beat Philadelphia at the end of the year.
They did. How about that?
Yeah, I mean,
for a guy that I have truly loved watching him grow and endure through his career in Minnesota. I mean, Adam Thielen going down there, like you remember this time a year ago, just talking about, man, it's super cool. Bryce Young, a lot of good things happening on the up and up, and just and the fact that he definitely remembered the play you brought up with him when you had him on the show a week or two ago about. Inside the 15, he makes a break on Byron Murphy.
Double move.
It's a touchdown that would have required the 2-pointer, but late stages of the game, a rookie a chance to come back at home. Weird game, pick 6. Marcus Davenport's basically the only game in which we knew he existed. He was pretty good that game. But Thielen, man, I mean, just the rat's nest that's going down in Charlotte. So we won't be talking about.
So we have the same Super Bowl winning odds as the Arizona Cardinals.
That's what I'm saying.
And who else?
Well, right
around there.
Yeah, right in that mix, just behind us at 90 to 1.
Giants.
Nolans.
Oh, New Orleans. Okay.
They're at 90. The Giants are 150 to 1.
Good.
They are the fourth to last in terms of Super Bowl odds. Just in front of the Vikings, the Seahawks at 65 to 1. You could jump up to the Colts again. You mentioned Jonathan Taylor, but what's Anthony Richardson going to look like?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not too far away. I mean, 100 to 1. It's not a massive leap. The Raiders. That is the universe that the Vikings are sitting in at this particular time.
Yes. I mean, you said yesterday that's Gardner Minshew.
It is Gardner Minshew in Las Vegas.
Think about that training camp battle and the seats that you're going to sell at the Raiders facility for, the public training camp practices.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well have a billboard, just personifying and promoting the battle between Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell.
I know. It's
the future of Vegas Raiders football.
Well, the future is bleak for Raiders fans.
That's what you call going broke in Las Vegas.
Absolutely it is. But
Devontae's like mother.
But Mark Davis cannot go broke because he sat that stadium in a city in which every opposing team's fan base will put a second mortgage on the house.
Yes.
And pretty soon, with the way Vegas is going, you're going to need to put a second mortgage on the house to bring the family down to the 702, make an entire week out of it.
Yeah.
And in the end, watch your team. They're playing road games almost every week.
What did you think?
O'Connell out there, come on.
What did you think of Allegiant? I thought it was pretty cool.
I
like the black. I mean, granted, we're talking silver or black here, but I mean, They really went like deep with the color black in certain areas, and it's a deep, rich color. So therefore, it's like the ambient light and everything wasn't as bright. It's just they did a good job with that.
The aesthetics of it are. I think it's brilliant in its simplicity. At least the sight lines from where we were in various booths and such.
Yeah.
You can see the whole field very easily. Mm-hmm. It's cavernous. It's massive up top, but I think overall super well lit. I love the fact that they have that kind of I don't know what you would call it, but the ability right there in front. I'm trying to
the music stage bit.
The music stage.
Oh, they go to break and now all of a sudden it's we'll read Vikings lead 3-0 on the KFAN Minnesota Vikings radio network. Take off the headphones. My man's over there playing Peg by Steely Dan.
Correct, yeah.
Like,
is that Ruben stuttered over there? Like, what's going on?
I know. It was somewhere in the third quarter, middle of the third quarter, and this is Minnesota Vikings football. Take off the headphones. And my man's got this big, Dr. Seuss hat, and he's going, I'd rather be with you. Yeah, I'd rather be with you.
I thought it was super cool. The one thing I will say, though, is, and it was sad the time we were there, that UNLV event happened, the shooting happened.
Oh, wow.
And so I guess the Raiders pulled back on a lot of, like, the entertainment, the bits and the pops and every, the bells and whistles.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little more subdued. And so, we missed out on that. That's secondary, of course, to real life happening. But but they, you can tell at its zenith that nightclub bit with it. They have a nightclub at a football stadium.
But it pales in comparison to that Miami bit I walked through.
Oh.
And I think I put video of it on Twitter. I may have.
You did.
Maybe I sent it to you.
You did.
I mean, it was, we beat the Dolphins. That was, when Dalvin scored that nice long touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
And he threw the football into the stands. And I can't remember who caught it, but somebody was very overjoyed. And
it was in his family, right? Because he had like 50 people from his family and really close confidants.
Yep, and so they win. So you're feeling good about things, and it's going to be a long flight back. And then you're walking to get to the team buses, and it's hot hair. Oh.
Suddenly, like Shakira,
damn.
and that the hips don't lie.
Well, they had two suites at Hard Rock. Okay, so you got suites. And like the Vox box for the road Vox box, it's the worst in the NFL at Miami. Either that or FedEx, and all the Voxes will say the same thing. And these are Vox problems. It's not like we're holding out cups and like asking for donations for, Voxes in peril. But their home booth sucks too. And it's in the corner. It's super small. So they're maximizing profit with the suites and everything. And I'm not mad at that. But for this club, they took two suites and made it one, and it had a velour and like the shag carpet, and it was just like, damn, look at Juanita go over there to that Nelly song.
Isn't that the Miami vibe though? Sports in general, like Florida Panthers doing their thing, and everyone's happy, and Sunrise isn't exactly. I mean, it's close to South Beach, but it's not truly South Beach, and I couldn't even peg exactly where the Miami Dolphins stadium is in relation. But
I think it's Miami Gardens, which used to be the murder capital of the United States of America.
But it's an idea of, and maybe Miami Heat are another example. So Miami sports.
Oh, Jimmy's right downtown.
For every of course he is.
Jimmy's right downtown.
But for how let's say these five people are hardcore Heat fans, D-Wade till they die. Now it's Jimmy. Give Tyler Hero all the money that he needs to stay here. Loving that. There's got to be two or three people. So five hardcores, two or three at any Miami sporting event that just kind of want to hang out with beautiful people and be part of be in the club. Somebody didn't even watch a snap of, who was it, Skylar Thompson into Teddy, or Teddy into Skylar. I forget the path that thing took. It was a disaster.
You talk about a lumbering clomper. I mean, Skylar Thompson, I hope he lasts in the NFL 10, 15 years. God bless the young man, okay? But so this, I mean, he was big. He couldn't move. He had some functioning clomp ability to him. He was just a clip. And then Teddy came in, and pretty much the game was over for the old Teal.
It was, but there are people in that club that did not watch a snap of that game. And there are people at Allegiant kind of bringing it back to the idea, the entertainment first vibe. For every hardcore Raider fan, black hole, I moved my family from Oakland here just so we can be close to the stadium. For every one of those, there has to be almost exactly one, 50-50, of a person that's like, well, my boyfriend got hot at a crabs table, and now I'm here, and this thing sucks. He's buying my drinks, though, so I guess I'll sit here for 3 hours. Like, there's a whole lot of just being there type of vibe that I saw at times at Allegiant.
Big time. And with Miami, just think about this. All right, first, FIOA, Fairness in Overreacting Act.
Sure.
That's what we're requesting from the audience. FIOA, Fairness in Overreacting Act. And I think the disclaimer with that would be, you love your children and your baby Hannah. What is she? 3 weeks now? 3.5?
Just over a month now.
Yep, we're at a month. And I love this time of the year, and I love my jobs. Okay, calling races at Canterbury, doing this job. So it's FIOA, Fairness and Overreaction Act. Metaphorical deep breath.
Okay.
Ready? So we mentioned where the Miami Heat play. I mean, right downtown. Can you imagine just a week right now in Jimmy Butler's townhome? I mean, colicky terrorism, rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Double job clip, rearview mirror.
All of that out of the mix.
You wake up, you open the sliding glass door or the doors out to the balcony, which, by the way, overlooks the Atlantic Ocean. And the ocean breeze blows in.
Oh, my goodness.
And your coffee's made.
Yeah.
And somebody has delivered you fruit and English muffins and whatever. And you just get into your phone and just settle into the day.
I always love that.
It'd be
one.
absolutely gorgeous. And then
Summer breeze.
Yeah, Charch is at some convention at the Clevelander, and I meet him for lunch.
Yeah, where's Charch? And why is he in a Chewbacca costume?
It's a little hot down here for that, Charch.
Oh, yeah, but it's...
I prefer it that way.
It's Comic-Con, and we prefer it that way.
People like the producer, to be honest, not built for South Beach. Whether that be aesthetically, whether be...
Well, that's why I put you in Jimmy's place.
I mean, you get above 60 degrees.
You think Jimmy...
Fat people are sweating.
You got a heat index of 104 with the humidity. You think Jimmy cares that he's running his air conditioning on 62 with the doors open so he can take in the Atlantic breeze?
That's why. Well,
Jimmy doesn't care. You don't.
The money you save on
Miami.
The money that you save on the state income tax bill. That's how you justify things for the extra. You keep that AC running. No,
Jimmy's just sitting around just stewing months after, going like, I can't believe Pat Riley said that about me.
And I always love that.
Miami, by the way, just out of the top 10 in Super Bowl odds. They're 11th at 24-1, and that includes Tyreek wanting more cash. Bradley Chubb, I thought, suffered a serious injury towards the end of last year, maybe. Jalen Phillips, he's really come on. He was the Miami kid. I think he went to the U, right?
Yep.
And he was at UCLA maybe before. There was some character or an issue like he was going to quit football or something.
Football for a year.
Yeah.
Actually got into the music industry.
That's right.
And was good.
Yeah.
It's not, he wasn't going Darren Waller on it. No, not that side of it.
No, he was like a legit producer and composer. Yeah, writer. Right. Yeah.
He had Chip, Chair, and Chance.
No, that's sweet.
And he's like, nah, there are 8 zillion of me trying to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to football.
Yeah, I ain't the next Rick Rubin.
So
I guess I'll just go sack people.
So the Dolphins are 10th in the FanDuel odds to win the Super Bowl. And
the Dolphins are 12th, excuse me. I misspoke, yes.
Okay, so that
and then it's the Jets at 11.
Dolphins would be, don't tell me. I'm going to put that at about 30-1.
24-1.
24, got it. The Jets
at 11.
Okay.
20-1.
All right.
And then we enter the top 10.
Oh, do we think the Jets can win the Super Bowl?
That's how I was going to pose it to you when we were talking about the titillating or tantalizing or terrific 10.
Mm-hmm.
That was a game that both of us almost instinctively just kind of jumped over. Now, you're going to go to London and all of that. I don't know what that looks like this time versus last time. But in the end, I'm not excited about that game, if that makes sense.
Right.
If it's at U.S. Bank Stadium and we get to see Rodgers here with the new colors and all of that, I'm pumped up for that game.
Are you going to England?
No, I don't believe any of us are outside of the core of you guys on the game call.
Well, that's unfortunate, and here's why. Because like last year with those great power trip shows that were done, I did a show in a library at the whatever manor where the team stayed about an hour away from the stadium. But this year we're staying at a place in Watford where we stayed in 2013.
Okay.
And we were there for 6 days. I mean, the practice field is, and I'm not kidding with this. It's like you walk out of the countryside resort or whatever it is, and there's a vast forest, and it's quite enchanting. And then all of a sudden you make a right and you see a football field just carved out in the middle of this vast forest. And then, like, if a football gets loose and heads into said vast forest, which is enchanting, and you take a bad step, you go into a World War II bunker that, it either has or does not have stairs because they've decayed.
Yeah.
So It was Kim Clowder running security then. Now it's Dave Corus.
Joke wire.
I mean, seriously, I'm like, you're looking for names of people who have been dead for 40 years. Kim, they're not still here. Okay, the ghosts of whatever are not still here. But nevertheless, you just have to be concerned in this day and age with those trying to get their sneak attack on.
I wish I knew what the actual architecture was called of some of those manors and those older style
Victorians.
Is that Victorian?
Colonials?
I have no idea.
Colloquialisms,
but just beautiful properties outside. So when I went, I enjoyed my time there.
Yeah,
but I hung out with the Power Trip for a show. You and I were 90 minutes away from each other.
I know.
And so it was almost just like I went with the rubes. So I hung out with rubes and went and saw stuff every day.
I just wish you could see this place. That's
the thing. I want to.
We're only there. We're not. This trip's different. I mean, it's like in 2013 when we went with Leslie. First time I'd been to London. We were at that bad boy 6 days.
Yeah.
I mean, Abbott sniffed out a restaurant called, and you can Google it, The Bricklayer's Arm. Okay? Go ahead and look it up real quick. The Bricklayer's Arm. I believe it's in Watford. That's where we stayed. And Watford, by the way, has a team in the Premier League, unless it got relegated. But I mean, there was a Premier game while we were there. And so you get the Bricklayer's Arm. Sucker's like 150, 200 years old. The ceilings are maybe, let's see, I'm 6'1.5". I'm going to say the ceilings are 8 feet. 8 feet max. You could reach up and touch the ceiling.
Yeah.
Abbott ordered pigeon. Okay? Pigeon is on the menu. But the I guess, charm.
Oh, this place looks super cool.
Charm, I guess, is one way to put it.
And Floundin. And
again, this is FIOA. Fairness in Overreaction Act. But they brand it as if you order pigeon, it's going to be shot within 10 minutes of your meal.
I always love that one.
So they're out in the back, you hear gunshots. My man's back there shooting at pigeons, and he got one, and Abbott had shell in his meal.
Can you... When you talk about that Fairness and Overreacting Act, and it's Jimmy, it's condos, it's the Bricklayer's Arms, is there any aspect of you, because I struggle with this a lot, and I love where I live, love my family, again, Fairness and Overreacting Act.
Thank you.
But I easily fall in love with new places.
Yeah.
So when I'm hanging out, John Bonus and I hanging out, we had lunch, we had beers. Every pub and restaurant, probably including Bricklayer's Arms, it's older than our country over there.
It's unbelievable.
And so you fall in love with those niche vibes. When I was in New York, I think it was 12 years ago, hanging out in Gramercy Park.
You went to Studio 54 looking for Andy Warhol.
Yeah, no, I wasn't hanging out with Naked Cowboy in Times Square.
Hey, wait, you're not some rube from Greenwich Village. You're Barry Gibb. What are you doing?
But you find these niche neighborhoods. South Carolina, you go to Fort Lauderdale and you get out of Margaritaville territory.
Yeah.
You start to picture what it would be like living in these places. I fall in love very easily when I go to new places.
You become smitten. Well, thus, that absolutely plays into why I love New Orleans as much as I do. Like, Las Vegas used to be my favorite city in the world, and it's not anymore. I like it. I don't go nearly as much as I used to. I haven't been to New Orleans in a while, but what you're talking about, I mean, have you been and like stayed like 2, 3, 4 days?
I haven't done the tourist vibe like you.
Okay, you would. I'm saying off what you just said, you walk into your first above ground cemetery and you see some of the military names and some of the names from. First, they're above ground cemeteries, which just reeks Anne Rice and Lestat and like Dracula popping out of one of them saying, "I've crossed oceans of time to find you." So they're freaky. The trick for me is I will go like this time of the year. Okay, so say I got some vocal maintenance days. You go to New Orleans. Nobody wants to go to New Orleans this time of the year.
No.
The humidity. And now they have...
Which means it's super cheap to go.
Well, they have like a 150-year-old hotel called Hotel Monteleone. Good luck trying to get into that bad boy starting in like August or September with football season.
Yeah.
But that personifies what you said. So I would stay at Hotel Monteleone, which is smack dab in the French Quarter. And it's generally a really expensive hotel. Prices cut in half. Nobody wants to be in New Orleans in July except for the announcer. And that's another thing. Nobody's there. So you kind of got to run to the place. You don't have to wait in line at Cafe Du Monde. But with the new place vibe, you walk into Hotel Monteleone at 10 o'clock at night, and you head to that swanky little bar they have to the right of the lobby. And you got this 6-foot lady from Paraguay, Uruguay, wherever in South America, singing that song, Lady of Ipanema, or
when we did that for the game down there 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah. Ipanema. It's mesmerizing. It's mesmerizing. I mean, because it's like the old school quality of the chairs and the chandeliers and the sconces and the light fixtures and the crown molding.
Yeah,
and it's just different. I think you would love it, man.
No, when I saw it there,
until Molly sticks you for about 1,500 in antiques.
But that's again. And one thing that I could not get over.
Why does it have to be the woman who always shops?
Is being in there. We were there in August for a preseason game, and it is all of 100 degrees, all of 100% humidity.
Yeah.
Nordo was not built for that. I should move to Juneau, Nome, Alaska. I need to move to the Yukon. And then finally, I would be in a spot that fits my temperament weather-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like these people, the music there, jazz and all of this, like from hotel to hotel, bounce to 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah. The quality of prostitute is what you're saying.
Yeah. The gal probably, I mean, she might clean houses or like a laborious day job, right?
Yeah.
And then the sun goes down.
And the gang gets bigger.
Absolutely it does, because she puts this gorgeous dress on.
Slinky.
And she's a different human.
Exactly.
And
that's New Orleans.
And she captivates you.
Yes.
You could not. I sat there with a drink for 25 minutes and was just immersed.
That's awesome.
But I haven't gotten out, like,
let's be honest.
Where's the best soul food spot? Where I haven't done
let's
that
be honest.
yet.
I mean, you and I, New Orleans, 4 days.
Correct.
Just you and I. It's unbelievable. Think about it. At Harris Casino over there.
How quiet would it be? Don't
have any NFL officials like tailing you to make sure you don't dip your toe in that. You put your toe there and you're only going to have 9 toes. I mean, we would have such a good time.
New Orleans is good.
All right. We are meandering our way through a Super Bowl theme today, where we started off by coming up with some Super Bowl slogans that are unto 9 to noon. We've done them every year for many, many years. A little slow to go this year. Why? A new baby, vocal maintenance days, and Finchie's Timberwolves played about a month and a half longer than they generally play, and that kind of immersed the attention span, diminishing as it is for 9 to noon. So Super Bowl slogans: Super Bowl 59, New Orleans, Louisiana, beignets, NOLA, which I like. I tweet NOLA a lot when I'm talking about the Saints or something like that. NOLA can be played off of. And Lombardi, Party with the Lombardi. We got some good ones already, and we will share more during the course of the radio show. But we're at that titillating 10 with the Dolphins. The Dolphins 24-1 to win the Super Bowl. Jets are like 20-1, and in a Super Bowl thematic fashion, chatting out some of those teams to see to unveil the who, what, where, when, and why. Kind of like what we do at about this time each and every hour with that cash thing, and here they are.
The Fan, along with BigDeck.com, want to give you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand with the National Cash Contest. So go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword Bills. You might win $1,000. The keyword is Bills at KFAN. The Fan.
Anybody remember Denard Span played with the Seattle Mariners? Raise your hands if you, okay, baseball fans, I'm sorry. Okay. Those of the non-seam head variety occasionally make mistakes like that. I had forgotten this is D-Span played with Seattle in 2018. And he got a chance to go home and play for Tampa Bay after playing for the Twinigmatics, the Natties, and the Giants. So 2018, he gets. We're going to bring you back, man. You went to Tampa Catholic High School, and you're gonna resurrect or aid the Tampa Bay Rays. Well, he split the season between Tampa Bay and Seattle, and he finished his career with Seattle. I had forgotten that. Denard Span was calling Twins baseball with Marnie and Justin Morneau on the south side of Chicago, where the White Sox play, and now he's in San Francisco, and he's going to join 9 to noon about 25 minutes from now to chat some Twins and do a Covenant catch-up with one of our all-time favorites in the history of this radio show. And I don't believe, I don't know if I've ever said that, but I'll say that a lot. I'm not a big ever or never guy. But Denard Span, weekly guest for 3-4 years. It's absolutely one of my favorite weekly guests in the history of this radio show.
Well, I started with you after he had left Minnesota, so he was with the Natties at that point.
Yep.
But we still had him on regularly, even at the genesis of my time with you.
Yep.
We had him. I love talking. We had him on during COVID. He was down in Tampa during COVID. We had him on just before when he was talking about, I don't know, maybe I'm done, but Tampa comes calling. I might be interested.
Oh, wow.
We've had him on a ton of times. Kind of in and out of each juncture of the latter stages of his career. So
we had him on within the last year and a half when he tried to pretend like he knows anything about hockey.
Oh, that's right.
And he was at a Tampa Bay Lightning game. And then first and foremost, I'm like, I mean, it's whether it's your wife, Annie Schlepper, who's women's hockey immortality, and your D-Span. Bro, why in the upper deck like 5 rows from the top? Not that there's anything wrong with being in those seats. FIOA, Fairness and Overreaction Act. And he's like, bro, my seats were great. It was a suite. I go, no, they weren't. You were behind the net. It's super hard to see everything. Got this net in front of you. There's like big net to catch pucks. And then I think we asked him to describe the neutral zone trap. And the answer we got more sounded like a counter tray the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be running for Rashad White than Jacques Lemaire and DeGeis in the neutral zone trap. Who's number 10? Dolphins, Jets, and whom?
Number 10 in odds as we are slowly making our way to the top spot. The Green Bay Packers, PA. The Green Bay Packers are 10th in Super Bowl odds. They are 19-1. They are all in on this Jordan Love train. They are all in on Josh Jacobs, just not only meeting but exceeding the production of Aaron Jones in the back end of that. They love this defense. They love the whole thing. LaFleur, 19-1 to win the Super Bowl.
When it clicked for Jordan Love, and he was following the next level LaFleur plan.
Yeah.
You know, like literally dot by dot, play by play, in incremental fashion, just every piece of minutia. He was following it perfectly. Then things absolutely got better for Green Bay, thanks mostly to Aaron Jones.
I always love that one.
That last play against the Niners, though.
I always love that one.
But they are formidable, and I'd have to look more at their personnel with what they're going. I mean, Kenny Clark, one of my favorites the last 10 years. When George Payton was here, and he was Spielman's right-hand man, now the general manager for the Anti-Bike. It's like I can't remember who they took in the Kenny Clark draft. I don't think you could love a player more than George Payton loved Kenny Clark.
2016. Was that Laquan Treadwell? That was Laquan Treadwell.
Wow, I think Clark went like he might have gone after him.
All right, how about you just ponder vocally for 15 seconds, and I will.
I mean, wow, if you get strong-armed on a decision, and I don't know that anybody got strong-armed. All right, 3-2. Okay. Those of you either recording 9 to noon and sending it to former friends to try to get the announcer in trouble, understand yours truly is saying, I can't exactly remember what went into it. But what is factual, 3-2, is George Payton loved Kenny Clark at a UCLA.
I'm trying to remember. That felt like into that year because it was the Will Fuller at 21, then Josh Doxson out of TCU.
Yeah.
And then Laquan goes to the Vikes at 23. Was that the end of the Mike Williams, Greg Jennings era, like what the wide receiver situation was looking like, where it was almost I mean, that was the
Thayer
conversation.
Thomas had yet to be born.
We were waiting for the Wolf of walk-ons to show up in Thayer Thomas. Kenny Clark went 4 selections later, PA.
After Laquan Treadwell.
He went, William Jackson III, Artie Burns,
man.
Paxton Lynch at 26 to Denver.
Yeah, the Memphis quarterback, right?
And, and Kenny Clark, 27th to Green Bay.
That's very unfortunate, don't you think?
Kenny Clark's had an awesome career, and he's terrorized Vikings quarterbacks for every step of the way.
Yeah.
Terrorized Garrett Bradbury for most of his Vikings career.
Yeah.
And he's still pretty high end. And again, 10th in Super Bowl odds, but they're kind of rolling it out with the same group. Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt, they're really hoping he steps up. But Preston Smith still figuring out how to get it done. Quay Walker, if he keeps his head screwed on straight and doesn't freak out in the middle of games, he's a game changer. And then they brought in, was it Eddie Jackson or Adrian Amos? It was Adrian Amos, who's now Xavier McKinney.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, because it was
former Dolphin.
Amos was the Packers safety, right? I always mix him up in Eddie Jackson.
Came into the NFL from Penn State, and he was a downhill thumper. And he was okay with Chicago, but when he latched on with Green Bay, Adrian Amos became team leader, galvanizer guy, blowing people up in the middle of the field. He was he's not there anymore, though.
That's my point. Is Adrian Amos out of the mix? Darnell Savage out of the mix? So they have a second-round pick, Javon Bullard at free safety. They got
sounds like a game changer.
Xavier McKinney in the mix, so they got to figure that out.
I'd rather have Jonathan Bullard. And what about their kicker situation? I mean, they have
Anders.
They have Anders.
Greg the leg.
And they're so excited about Anders Carlson. They have 3 kickers there now. I can't remember the other they brought in.
They got James Turner.
I mean, with Greg Joseph, and I like Greg. I mean, it's just think Christmas Eve against Daboll's team when he hit from 60. How great was that? The whiteout.
Yeah.
We're winning 13 games that year.
Merry Christmas, Vikings fans.
KOC. Man, you got all the tricks today. KOC's first year, we're kicking ass, and Joseph from 61 to win the bad boy. Merry Christmas indeed.
Well, so I don't know, but okay, my question to you on this, and ultimately we can just keep this train moving for the rest of the week with how quickly we're going through this top 10, but I love it. If you bring in Greg Joseph, you know what Greg Joseph does.
Right.
You know his ins and outs and everything. So first thing on him, he just has to prove that he shows similar consistency and such. But Anders Carlson either has to be elite, perfect, came in, he might have had to physically alter his body in some way, hit the gym, whatever. If he misses, the competition's over, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, like if you bring in Greg Joseph and Anders Carlson even just looks at you the wrong way, that's about all she wrote, isn't it?
Well, you with all due respect, are greatly shortchanging Next Level Goody. And you're greatly shortchanging what you heard. All right, 3-2. You're greatly shortchanging what they saw in Greg Joseph last year at Lambeau Field. I mean, there are one of 2 ways to do it. It's either we can get all wrapped up in what Brian Flores is doing to Jordan Love right now. Quite honestly, it should be a felony in 48 states. That's how bad it is for that kid quarterback.
Yeah.
But you know what? Anders is no bargain. I mean, we got to start thinking about Anders now. So clearly they identified their kicker of the future October 29th of last year. 42-yard try, right hash. Andrew DePaula snaps to Ryan Wright, and Joseph's kick is up, and Joseph's kick is no good. He missed it to the right. So the Vikings stop Green Bay's offense. They march all the way down the field for a field goal try, and now Joseph is 9 of 12 on field goals. Goody's like, we have to have him. 39-yard try, left hash. Joseph, it's blocked. No, it's blocked. And it goes into the arms of Owens, a safety for Green Bay, and Greg Joseph, upset that the kick was blocked, violently pushes him out of bounds. So Joseph has missed a field goal from 42 and just had that one blocked. 9:42 to go in the border battle, man. We are absolutely doing everything we can to keep this bad Green Bay team in this game. Oh, wow. Come on, man.
How many of those moments?
What the hell are we doing right there? It's not a bad Green Bay team. At least.
Older brother Daniel Carlson, his moments at Lambeau. Kevin King back at the end zone.
Oh, with Diggs, trying to get Diggs back right at the end zone. Well, you know what? I mean, I wish Greg well, but Senny, he now is your problem.
Never heard anyone in my life who's more insane than Paul. Man.
It is News to Nord, 9 to noon, brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park. CanterburyPark.com for all event details, the full live racing calendar. You're feeling the felt all year round. Canterbury's the best, man. Just go to it, CanterburyPark.com. I want to start. This is kind of a PSA, PA, from my buddies at Minneapolis City Soccer Club.
Yeah.
I've told you about them in the past. I've kind of messed around. I call the plays on their stream. They're a USL team. They're an amateur squad in Minneapolis. They play their games at Augsburg University, and they're my buddies. I love those guys. And tomorrow night, they are having a match at Edor Nelson versus Thunder Bay. The Canadians are coming on down. But they're having a match at Augsburg. It's at 7 p.m., and it's all about raising money. It's a gene party, PA, in terms of gene therapy and gene research at M Health Fairview Masonic Children's Hospital. So you can go to mplscitysc.com and you can learn more about it, but you're wearing denim, you're watching soccer, and you're supporting advanced gene therapy at M Health Fairview. Just love the Crows, love what they're doing as a soccer program, developing youth talent. But in this case, supporting health, spinal muscular atrophy, and gene therapy surrounding that. They're raising funds for it. It's an awesome cause. So if you're doing something tomorrow night or have plans or are in Minneapolis area and you want to do something really cool and help raise some money, go to Augsburg. Go Augies, go Crows.
I like that. Nice touch.
Back to the world of sports. The Twins split yesterday, PA, due to the weather. They played a true doubleheader. Twins just got a home run out of Matt Wallner in the opener. Bailey Ober taking the L despite going 6, only giving up 3, but 3-1 was the final. Of course, they bounced back. Brooks Lee can't not hit. He's a mild 364, I believe, at the plate. The kid is, since arriving from St. Paul, long road. But they win 3-2, and now they take the day off today, and they finish up before the All-Star break with 3 in San Francisco. I assume we'll get a little deeper into that convo with Denard Span at some point as well.
And the Giants, I think the Giants are okay. I mean,
they're middling.
I think Logan Webb's having a really good season for them. Couldn't name a player out of their bullpen. Don't follow the Giants closely, but what a treat into the break. Not only for Denard Span, who played there, but for like Twins who never have been there. Don't know what it's called these days. Maybe like AT&T or something. But when it popped up. And it was Pac Bell Park, and the Giants stopped playing at Candlestick. I went to a few games there, and wow, what a wonderful, wonderful ballpark right next to the San Mateo Bay with McCovey's Cove and everything. That place is cool.
No, my buddy actually went there, did like the Napa tour. Like, that's the thing. You go see Napa, drink some wine, check out the vineyards.
Go to the Tenderloin.
Then I don't know if he got there, but he definitely went to a couple of Giants games and just to see the stadium. He also went to a Twins-A's game. He went to Oco. It's not as nice, probably, as...
but you'd like it. Well,
because it's OG?
Yeah, they used to play a majority of their games in the afternoon. So, like, when I was calling races at Bay Meadows or Golden Gate Fields, and we had Monday and or Tuesday off, and I had a few friends, pretty much what's been the common thread of my life, I would go to Oakland Alameda Coliseum by myself.
Yeah.
Because you could get a single seat. I mean, I was in the 5th row and saw Barry Bonds. I mean, you saw baseball immortality players roll in. And it's cavernous, it's diseased. I mean, the place. Now, if you're...
And nobody goes.
Right. And you got my man with the drum. You got one guy with the drums in left field and another guy with a horn in right field. Nobody's there, and it's all you hear.
It is kind of the real-world incarnation of... You've seen the movie Major League, right?
Yeah.
Where nobody went to it was just empty, and it's the guy with the drums and doing the tomahawk bit. And that is truly what's happening for the Oakland Athletics organization.
Yeah, nobody cares. I mean, not even Vegas cares. I mean, they think they have a stadium, then there's a problem with that. Nobody wants them, okay? So Billy Bean this ass. But, like, if you're left field, upper deck, where nobody was, so it was easy to walk there, and you, like, look over, you see just the most beautiful view of San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge, and the Bay Bridge. And you're in Oakland. So if you look to the left, you see Jack London Square, which also is really, really cool. Then after the game, you head to 31st and Hagenberger and just get into the best dice game you've ever been in your life.
Personal foul. Clipping.
Lose 1,000 to J.R. Ryder, kick Joe Rudy in the nuts, and call it a day.
Personal foul. Clipping.
We've heard about Team USA preparing for the Olympics. How about this? Kawhi Leonard, you'll be shocked and embrace yourself.
Yeah.
He injured himself, PA.
I know.
Chronic knee soreness. He's been sent home. Derek White is replacing him on the roster for the upcoming Paris Olympic Games.
The league is so lucky. This is the world now, but the league is so lucky this happens to Kawhi Leonard. I mean, I love Kawhi Leonard.
As good as it gets when he's healthy.
I always have. You on the side, you should ask Spearfish Sammy and Ekstrom how much I love Kawhi Leonard, because Fred Hoiberg, when he coached the Chicago Bulls, got us 3 seats to a Bulls-Raptors game. Well, Kawhi sat out, but he was there. And even without Kawhi, they beat Freddie's Bulls by 50 points. So we went into Fred's office after the game. We could tell. I mean, he was shell-shocked. I think he'd be fired 2 weeks later. It was really, really bad. But I geeked out when I saw Kawhi Leonard. He was just like standing in this little room, and we're walking down past the Bulls locker room, and I go, hey, Kawhi. Hey, how you doing? Can I get a picture? Sure, man.
You remember when you and I went, and it may have been Ekstrom
and I freaked out over Bobby Portis, too, who was playing with the Bulls. It's like Bobby Portis.
Portis is awesome.
Bro, Portis was like young in his career. Hey!
Portis is Zion for the Bucks.
Yes.
If you look at it like six-man, he's the energy, he's the personality. But when I geeked out because Domantas Sabonis used to play for the Pacers, and we went to that Pacers game during the Combine in Indy, you can't help yourself.
Oh, wow.
We are adult children.
That's
we
right.
are rubes.
Who did we see? The Pacers and the Wolves?
I think it was the Pacers and the Wolves.
Yeah, that's right.
Jeff Teague, we were sitting not too far behind the Wolves bench at that point in time. Like, that was a badass night, man. That was sweet.
Kawhi doesn't talk. And I don't know why he doesn't talk, but he doesn't talk.
Well, have you heard him talk?
Well, he's just not comfortable talking.
Which is probably the best route.
And I got 4 words out of him when it was like, for sure, my man. Hey, selfie with Kawhi. And then, of course, old people terrorism. I pushed the wrong button, and I didn't get the picture, and I didn't have the guts to say to Kawhi, old people just messed this up. Can we do it again?
Yeah, it's tough.
So I really like
Hey,
Kawhi.
Adrian, the new producer didn't record that first 9 minutes. Can we do another 9?
Did we ever re-record that?
No, we didn't.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, no, that was the need you to play fast. And it's early on, people make mistakes, but these are the kind of mistakes that put people in spots where they're no longer in that spot.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, yeah, we were 2 months into it.
But I was respectful.
Well, I mean,
I was just coaching.
You were coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, we did not. We did not re-record with Adrian Peterson.
Mouse has contributed to the Super Bowl slogan game. Tell me what you think of this. From TDs and sacks to beads and racks.
This show is naughty and might make you a potty mouth.
Wildfire in the bayou.
Well, you're a nice Christian example, Paul Allen.
Yeah, that's
FIOA, FIOA, Fairness and Overreaction Act. Pretty good, Mouse.
We got to set up my next reconciliation, and then we'll.
We need to pause. Denard Span's around the corner. News do Nord, courtesy of Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com. And this is D-Span joins the mix to chat about the Twins and do a covenant catch-up with one of our favorites when we return to KFAN.